Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another government class from CTYD College for the 6th week. The class is SS1 and the topic is centralization and decentralization of powers. I am Mr. Isaac and my colleague co-presenter is Mr. Idowu. By the end of the lesson, the objectives are the students should be able to differentiate between centralization and decentralization of powers. That's number one. Number two, by the end of the lesson, the students should be able to mention merit and demerit of centralization of powers. 3. By the end of the lesson, the students should be able to list the merits and demerit of decentralization of powers. May Allah ease the understanding during the presentation and after the presentation. The content. Centralization of powers is a political arrangement where or when political powers are concentrated on one source at the center. In other words, when powers are centralized politically, means we have a unit at the center. We have a unit at the center that is the source of all the powers in that particular country. Here, powers are vested in the central authority in such a way that central authority or government becomes too powerful and creates other components. So, where powers are concentrated on one source at the center, so that central authority will be too powerful, and that central authority will create other components. It will create and control other components in that political configuration. So when powers are concentrated on a single authority, there is a single government. There's a single government, Ministry of Health, for example, Agriculture, Education, among others. When powers are concentrated, or when we have a centralization of powers, so it means we have a single government. In other words, it will be unlike what we have presently in Nigeria, where we have a federal government, we have a state government, we have a local government. Here we have only single government, and that single government will control all the affairs the affairs of the country. Political affairs of the people in that country. In other words, the single government at the center in this kind of political arrangement will control the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture, Education, among others. Unlike what we have in the federal system of government, where we have a state government controlling some ministry. For example, in the federal system of government, under the concurrent list, the state has the power to control the health, has power over health. The state can have its hospitals. Of course, the federal government can have its hospital. State government can control agriculture, and of course, federal government can control agriculture in the federal system of government. So, unlike this, in the this kind of arrangement where you have a centralization of powers, so the units at the center will be too powerful to control the activities of the people. Activities that have to do with health, activities that have to do with agriculture, education, among others, will be controlled solely by one government, controlled by the center, the unit at the center. Be too powerful, be powerful in such a way that it controls all the ministries. The ministries we have in that country will be controlled by one single government. So the powers be given to that single government. Not like what we have in the federal system of government. We have the exclusive list, the concurrent list, and the residual list. In an arrangement where powers are concentrated, where powers are centralized, the powers will be given to a particular government, a single government at the center. We have one government at the center, not three. Not three levels of government now or governance now. We're not talking about federal government. We're not talking about state government. We're not talking about local government. We're talking about just one government that will control all the ministries and all the affairs of the people. One government with the powers, and then the powers will be used solely by that government to create other components and control that component. So So that's that. So centralization of powers is adopted where unitary system of government is used. Like I said earlier, so this is operated, and where we have a unitary system of government, where we don't have, we are not talking about federal system of government. Now we have a unitary system of government where we have a particular government at the center controlling the affairs of the people. A particular unit at the center, a particular single government at the center controlling. Here we will not be talking about governors. We're not talking about the local government chairman and what have you. We're not talking about the House of Rep, House of. We're not be talking about those ones. We're not be having representative from the state or from local government at the center. We have the center, the central government controlling all the activities solely. So that is where we have a centralization of powers. So Britain is a good example of countries where centralization of powers is operated. A good example of this system of governance is Britain. Britain operates a centralization of powers. So they have a particular government, a single government at the center, and that government at the center operates, it controls, it creates other components in that country. Advantages of centralization of powers. Having said that, there are advantages of this centralization of power where powers are concentrated on one single source at the center. When powers are given to a single government at the center, controlling all the political affairs in that country. So what are the advantages? When powers are given, are concentrated, or the political powers are given to a particular government at the center, controlling all the ministries. When powers are given to a particular government at the center, controlling the affairs of the people, what are the advantages we can benefit from that? So one, it promotes a unity among the people. So the people will be united. So they have a particular a common goal. They have a common goal and they're united. That's number one. Number two, it is a cheap. It is a cheap form of a political arrangement. When we have a particular source at the center, given the political powers, so that kind of arrangement is going to be very cheap. So we will not be having duplication in terms of functions of political office holders. For example, we will not be having executive at the federal level, we will not be having executive at the state level, we will not be having executive at the local government level. In other words, we will not be having the president. And of course, that belongs to executive. And we will not be having the governors at the state level. That belongs to executive as well. We will not be having local government at the local level. So when that is operated, when powers are given to a particular source at the center, so it will be very cheap. It's going to be cheap. Can you imagine? We have a federal government, we have the president. The president at the federal level, for example, we have his PAs, personal assistant, and the personal assistant will be as many as possible. They will collect salaries, they have their cars, and some other things. So at the state level, so where powers are not centralized, so we have the governor, and the governor we have his assistant, personal assistant, and some other aides. And those people will also have they will also have a personal assistant. So it's expensive. At local government level, we have the chairman. Chairman belongs to the executive as well. So the chairman at the local government level, we also have PAs. We have PAs. So it is very expensive. But when you have a kind of when we have a centralized arrangement, so when powers are concentrated on one source at the center, so this will be eliminated. Therefore, that arrangement or that system of governance or government will be cheap. So that's number two. So the duties or functions of people will not be repeated. Will not be repeated at the federal level or at the state level or at the local government level. It will be on one source. So that will make it cheap. That's number two. Number three, decisions are easily made and quickly are taken. So when powers are concentrated on one source at the center. So the government will be easier. That's just it. Number 4, it eliminates conflict among federal, state, and local governments. So there won't be fight between the federal government and state government and local government. In fact, there won't be anything like a state government or local government. But we have just a government, a government at the center. That's all. So that's it. Number 5, all the components are loyal to the central authority. So all the components, all the units, all the people in the country will be loyal to a single government. So we'll not be having for example, we'll not be having this is Oyo State, that is Kwara State, this the man that is our president is an Hausa man or a Fulani man. So man is our president, is an Igbo man. So we'll not be having that. So the loyalty would be as a single one. It will be a single one. The loyalty will be a single one. Number 6, resources are best managed where powers are concentrated on a single authority. As I said earlier, resources of the country will be well managed or best managed when we have a centralization of powers. Disadvantages of centralization of power. What are the disadvantages? Are the things that are not good as regards concentrating political powers on one source at the center, giving powers to a particular source, particular unit at the center, controlling all the components. So what are the disadvantages? What are the things that are not good as regards this arrangement? Number 1, does not encourage political participation. It will not encourage political participation, especially at the local level. So people will not be encouraged to participate in government because there is a single government controlling everything at the center. So that's number 1. Number 2, it can lead to dictatorship. We can have a person in government, a person in government for life, a dictator, someone will just be ruling without minding the opinion of the people or without minding the constitution, can emerge as a leader. So where we have centralization of power, where powers are put powers are given to one source at the center. So it can lead to dictatorship. That's number 2. Number 3, the central government may not be effective because it is overloaded. For sure, where powers are given to a particular unit at the center, and that unit is too powerful. So as the unit at the center is too powerful because of the fact that all the powers have been given to that unit, so that unit at the center will be overloaded. Therefore, it will be overworking. When that unit is overworking, it will not be effective. In other words, government will not be effective where powers are concentrated on one source at the center. That's number 3. Number 4, it kills the initiative for other components. Other components will be rendered useless in terms of initiative. So we will not be allowed to think about what they can do to even develop their areas, their constituencies, their units. So that's number 4. Number 5, it cannot work where people are many. So it cannot work where people are many. It can only work where we have people of the same background, the same history, the same culture. It can work there. For example, it cannot work in Nigeria. Nigeria is of many ethnic groups. There are many ethnic groups in Nigeria. It cannot work. It cannot work. So that is why Nigeria is practicing federalism. So it cannot work in Nigeria because Nigeria is has many people of different backgrounds. Different backgrounds. We have Hausas, we have the Fulani, we have the Robo, we have the TV, we have Jukun, we have Yoruba, we have Igbo, and so on and so forth. There are even some ethnic groups in Nigeria that are not even we are not conversant with. We are not conversant with some ethnic groups in Nigeria. We don't know them. And they exist in Nigeria. So that's that. It cannot work in Nigeria. So it cannot work where people are many. So that's that. About that. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. It may not address needs of people at local level. So the needs of people at local level may not be addressed where powers are centralized. Where powers are given to a single government at the center. So the needs of the people at the local level may not be addressed. So that's that about the disadvantages of centralization of power. Having said it, there's a need for us to also look at decentralization of power. So this is a political arrangement The decentralization of power is a political arrangement where political powers are given to various sources that are agents of the central government. This is just the opposite of centralization of power, where powers are decentralized. It means powers are given to the various sources. There will not be various sources. There will be various units. Here we will not be having a single government now. We have many units or levels of government or governance now. For example, now we now be having federal government, state government, and local government. And these government or these levels of government will be given powers to operate. They will operate now be agents to or the agent of the central government. So the central government at the center will not be too powerful now. It will give some powers to other components. Other components will operate as agents of the central government. So that is that about decentralization of power. So where political powers are decentralized, other units of government are given powers to operate and do some things on their own, as I said. Powers are decentralized in the federal system of government where activities or powers of the three tiers of government are defined in the exclusive, concurrent, and residual list, as I said earlier. In fact, centralization of power is best practice where we have where unitary system of government is practiced. When unitary system of government is practiced, then we talk about centralization of powers. Where federalism is practiced, federal system of government is practiced, we talk about decentralization of powers. So where you have, in a federal system of government where we practice decentralization of powers, so we have the state government with its powers, federal government with its powers, and of course the local government with its powers. Nigeria and USA are countries that adopt centralization of powers. Those are the examples of countries that operate decentralization of powers. In other words, those are countries that operate a federalism. We talk about federalism, we talk about decentralization of powers. It's only in unitary system of government that we talk about centralization of power. Here we talk about Nigeria and USA, for example. Advantages of centralization of power. What are the advantages of centralization of power? So powers are given to units, various components, acting as agents of the federal, the central government. So what are the advantages? One, it encourages political participation at local level. So it will encourage people to participate in political affairs of their country. That's number one. Number two, it discourages a tyranny or dictatorship. So that's just the opposite of centralization of power. So where powers are given to people at, where powers are given to various components or units. So it will be very difficult to have a dictator. It's very difficult to have a dictator. That's number two. Number three, it nurtures initiative for other components. So other components are with more initiative. You will not kill their initiatives because they will have something to contribute. Here we are not talking about single government, so they have to think about how to move their constituency, their areas, their units, their jurisdictions, their regions forward. So number four, development meets local needs where powers are decentralized. Where powers are decentralized, the needs of the people at the local government will be will be met. Excuse me, the needs will be met because we have a particular government at that local government. So at that local level, that's the local government. So the local government will take care of the needs of the people at the local level. So number five, it gives people opportunity for leadership training. So people will be given the opportunity to have access to certain skills they need to be leaders. So where powers are given to various units in a particular country, various components in a particular country, so people there will be given the opportunity to have the leadership training. So those are the advantages of decentralization of powers. The disadvantages now. What are the demerits? The merits of concentrating powers. Giving powers to various units in a particular country, giving powers to various sources in a particular country. What are the disadvantages? It is expensive to operate, as I said. Federalism is expensive to operate. Why? Because the unit, the ministries, for example, now, the functions of uh, political office holders will be duplicated. It will be repeated. For example, we have executive at the federal level, we have executive at the local government level, we have executive at the federal at the state level, we have legislative arm of government at the federal level, we have at the state level, we have at the local level. So therefore, the whole system will be expensive. If not too expensive to operate, because the functions will be duplicated. The functions will be repeated. Functions of the executive at the federal level, so those ones are there. Functions of the executive at the state level, those ones are there. Functions of the executive at the local government level, those ones are there. So therefore, there will be much money will be needed to operate this decentralization of powers. So therefore, it is expensive to operate. Number two, it brings about disunity among the people. So it cannot bring unity. It cannot bring unity. So each ethnic group, for example, in such an arrangement, will be clamoring for its development. For example, Yoruba will be talking about Yoruba nation. Igbo will be talking about Igbo nation. Hausa will be talking about Hausa nation. So the Hausa has to be, for example, in Nigeria, will be thinking about how Hausas will occupy many posts. So the Igbos will be shouting, we have been marginalized. The Yoruba will say, oh, we are to be there. So unity cannot be achieved where powers are given to various units in a particular country, where powers are decentralized. That's number two. Number three, decisions are slowly made and taken where powers are given to various units, various resources. The decisions will not be made quickly or taken. So that's number three. Number four, it wastes resources of the country. Since it is expensive, resources of the country will be wasted. What should not be spent on issues in the country will be spent on the issues. What should not be wasted will be wasted, because the functions are repeated or duplicated, so it will be wasting the money of the country. Number five, it encourages conflict among the three organs of government. The three organs of government will be fighting where powers are given to various sources at the center. Powers are given to various sources in a particular country. The powers are decentralized, so there will be conflict among the three organs of government. The three organs of government will be fighting. They will be fighting. So there won't be unity. There won't be unity. And of course, it leads to dual loyalty. So that's the last one there. So there won't be single loyalty. So each region, each unit will be fighting for the survival of its people. So no, for example, in Nigeria, nobody is talking about, or majority of people are not talking about Nigeria as a nation. So, as a nation, rather, people will be talking about Nigeria as a country. So if someone commits a particular crime now, for example, now, say, he's an Hausa man, he's a Fulani man, instead of saying he's a Nigerian. So that is it. So you say he's a Nigerian. Okay, Buhari, a Nigerian president. Oh, Hausa ni. So he's an Hausa man. Instead of saying he's a Nigerian. Osinbajo instead of saying he's a Nigerian, you say he's a Yoruba man. So that is it. So there won't be unity. There won't be single loyalty where powers are decentralized. May Allah ease the understanding. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.